have her own fundraising business to raise money for those in need. And with her desire to create fashion, she designed her own wardrobe, and her clients and her colleagues saw it and immediately started ordering. And soon thereafter, a lot of boutiques across England and Wales were carrying her designs. And in 2010, Fashion Media Wales called her the designer to look out for. And so she decided to push the envelope even further, relocated to New York. And in March of this year, Ogo NYC was launched, and you can find it in stores across New York and also in Philadelphia. So she continues to be a designer to watch out for. Let's welcome her. Ogo
Thanks so much for coming. I know in New York there's always so much going on and everything competing with your time. So I really appreciate you guys coming. Since I can remember, I've loved fashion from being a little kid, being 6, 7 years old, making my own pieces. I remember my parents were very traditional, so we weren't allowed to wear short skirts and tight jeans, so I just make them myself. And that's how it started. So I kind of buy material and just kind of sew it up. And I remember one particular situation, I changed my school uniform completely. But it was perfect. I should probably bring that back up for season 14 actually. And I was probably about 9 years old, and the skirt to the uniform was as long as literally my calf. So I literally designed it so that my mom could tell, but it looked normal. But when I went to school, it had a flip, and it was flipped over with buttons. It was pretty cool. So whenever I came home, I looked normal, but whenever I went to school, I was super cool. So that was the start of my dreams to design. And it's funny because, like Christine perfectly said, it was just by accident that I began doing it. You know, when I moved into fundraising, which is really my passion, helping people, I was a senior executive at quite a young. I was 22, managing about 200 people as a fundraising director in England. But I found that as a female, there weren't many pieces to wear that made you look confident and authoritative without taking too much away from how you look. So that's how I started. So I began going to stores, and I never saw anything that looked good enough. Back in those days, about 9 years ago in England, pieces were very frumpy. So I either looked way too old or way too young. And so that's how I just started. And people started going, oh, where did you get that from? Where did you get that from? And I go, I made it. And then literally orders started to come in, and sooner or later, we started kind of buyers, stores started ordering. And that's how it started. So I actually didn't go to school for it. I guess had the ability and just began to do it. And that was in 2009 is when we launched in England with an exhibit at the Natural History Museum, which is huge if you know London. That we had about 3,000 people come, and we featured in Fashion Week. It was crazy. And it was just something that I guess it just came. And then obviously I relocated here to New York, and due to my background,